Alright. Welcome to my game called Find the Demon. Basically, the rules are pretty easy in this one, but it's also a little bit complex, kind of. So, I'm gonna be explaining the game mechanics and the rules. And since my cards keep flying off, that's a disaster. Well, first off, every player has to take a note kind of card and write on the back what they have seen. And since I don't have any other cards right at the moment, each player will have at least 4 cards to begin with. And 1 or 2 of the players will be selected as the demons, aka they'll be disguised as humans. And basically, if it takes until midnight for them to find the main demon, then the whole entire team will lose. The innocent team, or known as the detective team. Basically, you have to try to find all the clues and who you suspect might be the demon. And this card called the Demon Clues. You write on the back what you have seen, and they even show a little reference, like the fang, the black goo, the shadow wings, the flame in the room, the little potion, which is the vital, and a drawing of an eye. You have to look for these kinds of clues in any one of the rooms because it'll appear randomly at each beginning of the game. So, if I were to start, I would start off with 3 cards that I might choose. But each player must keep their cards to themselves so the other player doesn't find out who they are. Basically, if they receive the demon card, which is I do not have at the moment, then I would receive demon clues and figure out which people and detectives I should be able to transform into other demons. And the detective team basically has to find either the main demon or they have to get the other demons as well, depending on how hard the game is going to be. Once it hits midnight in game, not like in real life, I mean it'll take an hour to be able to find out all the clues for time. Then the game will be over. Depending on if the demon still roams, then the detective team entirely loses. And there's another side part to this game. There can be 2 demons, for example, and the detectives have to find the other 2, otherwise it'll be too late. So, after getting those clues out of the way, we're going to be looking at where the location is, or known as the clues. If you get some of these cards after you go, let's start the game right now. I'm going to put cards aside so it can be easier to see. And if I were to roll the dice, which is I do not have either, and I were to roll a 4, I would go where I want to go. Basically go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then nothing happens. But if another player rolls a 9, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, boom, then they'll receive either a card that has one of the demon clues on it, and they'll have to also write down the location where they found it. Otherwise, it will not count. These locations will appear randomly each time the game begins. And the player has to write down each of the locations that they found those items at. The demon just has to figure out which players or detectives they'll have to go after. So they'll go to, say, this player this player also becomes the possessed demon, and they work together with the main demon. And if the other players move on the board, as demonstrated, which is I'm not rolling because I do not have dice, then those other two would work together to make sure almost all the team is turned into demons. That's their main goal. But the detectives have to find the main demon so they can get the spell that's on the other demons off the detectives. So the detectives won't become a demon anymore because of that curse. Basically, it's kind of like, let's say, it's kind of like trying to figure out who is like the alpha leader for the demons. And yeah, that's pretty much about the game mechanics and how it's played. In my description of how I'm playing it, of course.